All right, so we got about 4 layers high, 4, possibly 5. I don't know. I didn't really count it. 1, 2, 3. It looks about like 5 layers high on the breast. There's all the tenderloins. And then here's all the drumsticks with the thighs. Like I said in other videos that I'll probably be separating some of the drums from the thighs. I'll be keeping some together for barbecue and just packaging them up different ways. But you can tell that's a lot of meat. That's 17 birds. So you do 17 times 2 on the legs and the drums and the breast and the tenderloins, and that's what we ended up with. All right, normally I don't put them on a table like this. I put them straight in the pot, but I wanted to give a representation, so I cleaned off the table here and put it on there. I'm gonna probably rinse it off. As you can see, little flakes of leaves and stuff just in the process get on there. That way I just rinse that off a little bit as I put them into the pots over here, as mentioned earlier, and we'll take them inside. Hopefully I'll be able to fit all these in there, so I'm gonna have to stack them and nice and neat in there, and to get them all to fit, I believe, but should be able to get them all in there. All right, so that's a deep fryer, turkey deep fryer. You know, there, of course you can fry anything, but that's what it's made for, so just for reference. And it's filled up to the top with legs and drums. I mean, I packed them in there, crisscrossed them to get them all to fit in there. Then over here's a comparable. It's a little bit smaller in the diameter, but that's loaded to the top with chicken breasts. Like I said, they're packed in there, and it's all the way up to the top. So that's chicken breast from the bottom to the top, solid. And I had to get another pail over here for all the tenderloins, and it filled up that about 3/4 of the way. It's just one of them planting pots out here that I had. I washed it out real good and put it in there because I didn't feel like going in the house. But that's it. That's what we got out of the whole thing over here, and now it's already pretty much cleaned up, and I'm gonna take these in the house and start packaging them up. So stay tuned for that. All right, so we're gonna do, now that I got them inside, I had to actually drop the chicken breast, had to rinse them off. But anyway, things happen. Like I said, be prepared for anything. But anyway, here we go. We got the thigh and the drums. So I'm gonna be separating a few of these. Like I said, I keep some of them together, some apart, but this is just something that I do inside the house. So we got the drum and the thigh, and all you're simply going to do with this is it's that kind of same thing that you did with out there and with the wings. Of course, on the video, this one's going to give me a hard time, but you got to find that reference point. You just go right through that joint right there. Boom, then you got the thigh and the drum. Go to the next one. Find that reference point. There you go, just like that. That's how it's supposed to look right there. Of course, the first one's gonna have to prove me wrong, right? But that's the way it goes. So then you get that reference point, boom, right through, drum, thigh. Same thing, drum, thigh. And you get the point. You just go on and on, 17 times 2. So probably just go ahead and do them all, because we like to cook, especially now that my daughter is not living with us anymore. So we don't cook as much, and usually it's just me and my wife, so it's good to just have the separate pieces, you know, that way we can pick and choose which ones we want to do. So here's an example of what I was talking about earlier. If you don't get that material, let it bunch up, then it'll get on there, you know. And a couple of them did that to me, not too many, because I'm pretty aware of it most of the time, but sometimes things happen in the process that causes that to happen. So just clean it up when you get in the kitchen, no big deal, move on. And I know a lot of you are probably like, why is he showing me how to cut this? Well, if you know how to do it, it's not for you, I guess. But what it's for is, if you haven't noticed, our kids don't know how to do much of anything anymore. And I was taught a lot of this stuff growing up, and they weren't. So it's my hopes that, like, hey, this is the way we are now, and this is how they learn, is through all this social media stuff. And so that being said, that's why I do this. And if you've never done it, and you're even older and you weren't brought up around this, you might not know how to do it either. So this is for people to do that, or if you're just curious, or hey, if you're 100 years old, you can make fun of me too, because I'm sure you probably do know for real all those 1,000 ways to do something. But that's how I separate the thighs from the drums. I got a bunch more to go, but that's the size pot I have. So I still got over 3/4 of my turkey fryer over there, but that's them. And clean out the sink here so I can go to town on them, but I wanted to make it for the video and show you that process. So I hope you like it, and like I said, I'm just finishing this up because I said from beginning to end, and so I want to see it go into Ziplocs and go into shrink bags or whatever. Probably be a bunch of Ziplocs because like I said, we go through our chicken pretty fast. But that's it. Hope you enjoy. Please like, subscribe. All right, so I decided to just go ahead. I got the sink cleaned out now, so instead of going in that pot, we're going to go toss them right into that sink, and I decided to go ahead and get all these done. So I'm going to try to adjust this camera a little bit. Hopefully I don't mess it up here. All right, let's back it up some. Oh. All right, so we're gonna finish this up. So I like to know how many people out there do this with their, raise their own meat birds and things that you do and what you like to do with them. I mean, chicken to me is probably one of the best animals to know how to do in a prepper type scenario. I don't know if I got it in the video, but I mentioned somewhere, like chickens, you can grow them in your closet. You can grow them in a little 4x4 area, get you some nice meat, get them nice thighs, and hey, you can go a long time with that good protein. So that's my opinion. I just like chickens, and like I said, I got pet chickens. I got meat birds I got to order some more and get the next batch going. I just run through as needed. I will say, there's a lot of things you think of when you're doing these videos, and it's live in color, it's unedited when I do it. So I just try to get as much content as I can, and hopefully I can put it together. That's my hardest part, because I got on the Marine Corps, I just kind of fell away from the tech stuff. I kind of swore off of it, but you see how that worked. They make it where you have no choice now. But anyway, I'm working on it. Hopefully my videos are getting better, and by the time you get to this, I'm sorry if I annoy you with a lot of the little gadgets in there, because I look at that as a time to practice. So put little notes in there. I'm learning how to do the stickers and the like, subscribe. But just so y'all know, I don't get nothing out of this. What I get out of this is the pleasure of knowing I'm passing this information down. Now, sure, anybody would be a fool not to take money if they ever did offer it. But sometimes I have a tendency to say things that this current world doesn't seem to like, and I think that gets me monitored or something. I don't know. I don't really care. But like I said, hopefully, I try to separate those conversations from videos like this, because I know what's going on, because I'll do a serious video like about our Constitution or First Amendment or our founding of our country and just things like that. And, I get like 2 views and 1 like, or I'll get no views and 100 likes or something. Figure that one out, right? But you just know something weird's going on. But it's no big deal. So I try to keep those things separate from things like this, because this is everybody. You need to know this stuff, especially whether you fully believe in all the stuff that's going on. Well, you're going to end up having to do this, because this is guess what they do on the streets of Iraq. You go to a market in Iraq. When I was over there on my combat deployments over there, you go to the market over there, and they got the chickens right there. Oh, I hit it with a drum. I drummed my camera with a drum. But they got the chickens right there in the market, in a cage, live. And you pick the one, and they say, okay. And then how you want it cut? And then boom, 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 they go to town, and they get your meat for you. Or you can save some money by taking it home, doing it yourself. Believe it or not, same thing with goats. You go up to a meat market in Iraq, they got the goats standing out on the corner. You pick your goat, and they take it over, and they'll bleed it right there for you and start butchering it for you. And we did that a couple of times when I was with the Iraqis. They would pick one up off the street, and we'd take it back to our outpost, and we'd have goat, and that was a lot better than eating MREs and C-rats and stuff like that all the time. So, but like I said, I'm just carrying on conversation while I do this, and hopefully enjoy it. But it's a reality. But if you know how to do this stuff, you don't need nobody else. The thing that's going to be the hardest thing to figure out is, how do I make these chickens? Like I mentioned in another video, I got an incubator out there. So as long as sorry, my oven's going off now. I'm about to make some food in there. As long as you got an incubator and you got a male and a female chicken, I got 3 roosters out there right now. And I got a nice little flock of hens. I got an incubator that holds 50, and I got a generator if I even need to run on a generator if it's that important. But you know, right now I do this just because to me it keeps me connected, you know. And I did a lot of things over in Iraq, and I'm gonna tell you, a lot of people talk a lot of smack when it comes to dispatching animals, and then they're gonna talk about humans, and now you're talking about a whole different thing, you know. So, but anyway, that is the end of the chicken thighs. And hopefully you can see that. I'm not, like I said, I'm not the best with these cameras. I got a camera in there, and I had a problem with the rooster that I dispatched for you guys on the video. So I'm gonna try to get that done up and get it going. But from here, Ziplocs, and then you can do the shrink wraps. All you do with that is you bring up the water to the temperature on the package. You can get small ones, large ones, big ones. You can use it for big game, small game, whatever. Meat, you put meat in there, vegetables, you can shrink it, freeze it, holds good. You don't have to worry about that zip, but only thing about it is you cut that zip open, or I mean that seal open, and then hey, you know, now you're gonna use it. But that's what we do anyway. Excuse me. So I'm not gonna do a video on all how I pack it up and all that. You know, okay, you guys get it. Ziplocs, you can do it in butcher paper, you know, put it in your freezer, and you know, I'm not going to sit here and tell you how long you can keep it and all that, because most of the time when they tell you and they recommend, it's for your safety, and so they'll recommend like way shorter than what you can actually get away with, you know. People probably, like I said, I accidentally spilt the chicken breast there, and like 3 of them fell out on the ground. I picked them up, washed them off. Hey, I eat animals out of the woods. I believe that that's what keeps us safe in our environment, especially around your local environment. That's why I do a lot of stuff too, you know, and I eat and I hunt, and that comes from our local areas. And I just, like I said in one of the videos, I feel like it circulates back through me and my family and helps keep us healthy, because guess what? I'm 52 years old, and I'll run circles around a lot of people younger than me. Most people don't even believe I'm 52, but hey, that's what it is. I retired in 2013 from the Marine Corps as Master Sergeant. I stayed in excellent shape the whole time. I had to, because of my job. I was a forward observer, and I was a JTAC and a naval gunfire spotter, as well as a drill instructor, swim instructor, and marksmanship instructor. So I had a lot of reasons to stay in shape. I did 4 tours over in Iraq, Valor recipient, and that's some of my claims to fame. And other than that, I've done several jobs throughout the Marine Corps. I got a lot of experience, but I know you heard me say earlier in the video, 1,000 ways, right? And I'll never claim to know all 1,000 ways. And I love to learn different ways to do things. So please comment and like and subscribe, and let's have some dialogue. Let's get this thing rolling. Let's give some people some knowledge. Let's get you working and doing things for yourself. The more you can do for yourself, the better you'll be. I promise you. If you have the confidence that you can handle any situation, regardless how bad, good, whatever, you can handle it, you are going to be successful regardless where this crazy world takes us, because that's what it's all about. So learn to take care of yourself, and then you don't have to worry about others taking care of you for you. You got to learn how to go with different flows and different situations, and then we learn from each other. And that's how we build that tight knit to learn all these things, you know. And you know, I've just been blessed. I had a lot of experience. I had a lot of people that taught me, whether in the military or my family. You know, I wish that I could retain all the things that I did. I wish I could have retained a lot more of the languages of the different countries I was at. I just wish, you know, but sometimes your mind just it gets full, you know, and you got to keep it. You got to keep injecting it with that knowledge. Even if you've done it before, you got to keep injecting it with that knowledge, especially them crucial skills that's going to get you through life. And a lot of this stuff, you know, it doesn't mean you're like a conspiracy theorist and this and that. Look, prepping is just being prepared. Listen to what it says, preparedness. That's it. You know, you can go, it's just like everything. You can go to extreme this way or extreme that way, like politics, extreme this way, extreme that way. But guess what? Where it's at is right in the middle, right down the middle. A lot of times. Sometimes it's necessary to go, all right, but that's up to you and your preferences. My intentions are for this is to give knowledge, all right, to people, because you never know. So you got to be prepared, especially for all the things within your environment and different places where you live. Some people are living in to me, hostile areas, and other people are living in the rural countryside. But don't mistake one is harder or easier than any of them, because if you take one person out of here and put it in here, and that person out of there and put it in there, guess what? You're gonna have some issues if you don't know what you're getting into. So know your environment, know what you need to do. Chicken, grow it in the closet, grow it anywhere, get your eggs, get your meat, take care of the bugs, have a friend, have a pet. It's all up to you. So hopefully you like this series, and I plan on doing more stuff. Got hunting season coming up, looking forward to that. I got a nice 9-pointer. Look back at my old videos, that's when I was first starting, so I'm gonna warn you, they're not the best videos, but I was happy that I got that nice 9-point buck, 145 pounds here in the state of Florida, Central Florida, Polk County. And guess what, man, that's a nice deer for Florida. Ask anybody from Florida. Okay, I know it ain't your Colorados and your Montanas and stuff like that, but like we stay down in Florida, whitetail deer is small game. Go after our hogs, go after our gators, go after them pythons. They're not native, nor are hogs, but hogs have been here forever, so they're kind of, I would say they're about as native as we are. And Spaniards brought them here to Florida, and so they're big, huge down here, and them snakes are huge, and them wild boar are, and those alligators are. That's a big game down here in Florida. And I venture to say, you get up in Montana and you start talking about deer or whatever sorts, and like, yeah, that's our small game deer. That's our, you know, we going after these elk or caribou or grizzlies or things like that. So anyway, it's been fun. I've been loving making these videos. I don't know how many people watch it or even watch it to this end. I've noticed a trend in our society, and I wish people would get away from it, is people want everything to be quick, fast. Yeah, get away. You're wasting my time. Well, where are you going? Where are you going? You know what I'm saying? Where else you got to be? Get to the next thing to go quick. So enjoy your videos. Watch these people's videos. There's some really great videos. And a lot of times I've noticed if you a little bit too quick on that button, you're gonna miss out on some good content, some good education, some good just overall people. All right, so give everybody a chance, and stick in with the videos, and I wish you all the best of luck, and please like and subscribe, and maybe one day they'll pay me, maybe not. I don't care. I get paid regardless, because I love teaching this stuff to people and passing it on, because one of these days I'm not going to be here. Ain't none of us getting out of this alive. I ain't worried. I ain't scared. I'm not going to live my life so afraid that I don't live. All right? I'm not going to be so scared of dying that I don't live. And that's for sure. God bless America. God bless Americans. Love you guys. Hang in there. Fight your fight. Let's get through this. This video, I'm going to go ahead and show you how I shrink wrap these. This is the company that I use. Again, I don't get anything for advertising and this and that, but it's just, these are the people that I use. But here's the instructions. You can see it's pretty cut and dry. It's not that hard. Basically, you just bring the water, heat it up, put the chicken in the bag, dunk it in, and you need to put a little holder in, or some people use a straw, but I just usually just pierce a little hole, because they come with the stickers here, and I just stick the sticker over the little hole, and I just put that towards the top so it doesn't get water inside, and it shrinks it nice. And I'll show you that when I get done. But again, this is the company that I use, and you know, made in America, and they seem to be worked pretty good for me. I usually use them for my whole chickens. I decided to go ahead and we're going to wrap some drumsticks and some thighs and a few of the breasts, just because I put some in the Ziploc that I know we're going to use right away, but that way I have some frozen for a little bit longer storage. We go through them pretty quick, so but still takes a while with just me and my wife, so that's what I do. All right, so I'm getting the process going. You can see I got the water going here, and that's in the turkey fryer that I had the chicken in earlier. Over in the back is the drumsticks that I transferred over to a different pot. I'm gonna take them and I'm gonna put them in the shrink bags here. So here's the shrink bags. We just left those the last time, but I got new ones over there, but that's why it's a little crinkled up. But just gonna take the legs and put them in the bag and do a reasonable portion. I'll probably do like 6 per bag. That way you can cook them up, and have leftovers probably, or if we decide to do a barbecue, it's a good number for legs. So I'll put them in there and then just crisscross them like you see in the store or whatever. So we got 6 legs there. Alright, I might have to pause the video in a second, but because the water's not ready yet, but I just want to kind of get started. But you see I got my thermometer here, and they say 190 to 201 degrees, I believe. So we just want to make sure we got a good hot temperature. And then what I also do is I take my poker end of my thermometer here, and that's what I use to vent the hole. And like I said, you can use a straw, then pull the straw out and all that, but you got a little zip tie that you put around it, and you puncture the hole, and then you dip the bag until it shrinks around the chicken. And then I take the sticker and put it over where I put the hole and label it. Not quite ready yet. We got about another 20 degrees to get to the bare minimum, so I'm gonna cut this off and we'll start it back up in a minute. All right, so we're back. The temperature is good. I've already wrapped some up while I was waiting on the temperature to cool up. You can see I got the wings in here, and I punctured a little hole there. So all I'm going to do is just going to take this and just remembering where that hole is in the bag, just lower it in, and all that air is going to come out to the top. Be careful not to dump your fingers in there because you will burn your fingers. And we're going to roll it in there and try not to get too much water in that hole, and let that shrink wrap right onto those wings. I'm sorry, those drumsticks. So there we go. Got 6 drumsticks in there. And remembering where that hole is, I'm going to grab this sticker here. And I'm going to place that sticker that comes with the whole kit on top of that hole to keep anything from getting in that hole. Then I just take my scissors, snip off the excess of the zip tie that's on there. Make sure it's tight. And there we go. Nice bag of drumsticks. So we got 2 bags of those already done. Now, another method I did was, this is just a whole bird. It's got 2 breasts, 2 thighs, 2 drumsticks, and 2 tenderloins. So I'm going to take and puncture a little hole in there. I know I said I used my temperature gauge to puncture that hole. However, it must be getting dull because I was having a hard time with it. So I went ahead and got a knife out and puncture that hole. No big deal, but you get the idea. You got to have a vent. Some people put a straw right down the tip, put it in while it's zip tied around, and slide the straw out and pull the zip tie. I just punctured a hole just like that. Remember where it's at. And then we're going to take this and we're going to put it in there. Let that shrink wrap around it. And these are good for all kinds of storing all kinds of meat. Alright, just remember where that hole is. Alright. Put it in there for about 10 seconds or so. Don't have to be super long, but you'll see when you need to pull it out. But right there I got a whole chicken shrink wrapped. And once again, I'm going to take the little sticker here and I'll label these later as I go through this process. Now you want to do every now and then, give a little bit in between while keeping your stove on and let your water reheat. But there we go, nice packaged meat there. Let's see if I can see it. Yeah. And I want to take that, put it in the freezer. And we want to mill, that's like a nice little barbecue there or whatever, throw it on the grill, boneless, skinless, you know. And like I said, I do the bone in or whole chickens a lot of times for barbecue or smoking on the grill. But for this time, this is for solely just meat that we eat every day. And that's it. Shrink wrap it, and then the other stuff I put in a zip tie or Ziploc bag. So I think you pretty much know how to do that. So I'm not going to get into details about that, but I figured I'd show this process. I wasn't going to, but I decided to because I ran out of Ziploc bags for one, and for two, it's just kind of good to know your options. So hopefully you like and subscribe and enjoy the video, and that'll pretty much be the conclusion of this whole process. goes in the freezer from there. All right, so I'm all done with the shrink wrap, so I went ahead and threw 4 eggs in there. Figured why not? I already had the eggs boiled, and that's from my chickens out in the backyard. Some good looking eggs there. Fresh, free range eggs from my egg layers, so went ahead and boiled some. I like boiling. Figured why not use all that energy to get that water up to that temperature. So what we're going to do next is I just thought about this, is I'm going to weigh different objects. Of course that falls down on me as soon as I did that. You can see I got some of the meat over there I haven't put in the freezer. I got a lot already put in the freezer, but I got different packages. The ones I shrink wrapped, the ones I put in Ziplocs. I did find another box of Ziplocs, so that was good. I didn't have to shrink wrap as much. So with that, on the side of a minute, I'm going to go ahead and weigh some of these out just to give people an estimate on what we're looking at for different pieces. All right, now you got to remember, when I did this method, I skinned it. I took the meat out, took the skin off, took it right off the bone. There's no bones in this other than the drums and the thighs. But you got the breast, you got the thighs, the drums, and the tenderloins. All right, and then so I did wrap up whole chickens, meaning 2 thighs, 2 drums, 2 breasts, and 2 tenderloins in one package, and that's like a little, like, I guess you can call it like a whole chicken meal kit of this method. You know, of course, there's no backs or wings in there. I've done that before too, where I parted it and had the backs and the wings and just put it all as one chicken. I've also done it the whole thing with bone in and bone on it, everything. All right, so these are the meat bird chickens that raise that you've watched if you watched other videos. And all right, excuse the mess. This is my second time trying to film these weight things. All right, so round 3 with this. I actually learned something new. I learned how to delete the videos that I upload from my files. I always wondered when I uploaded them from the creator thing, it didn't really explain where it uploads it to. And I found them on my phone, so I had excuse me, duplicate videos of on my phone, which is eating up all my space on my phone. I'll get this stuff down one day, but okay, let's start again. All right, so I decided to go ahead and weigh this to give people references. I've already gone through this like twice now, and my camera just shuts off because it says I'm out of room or out of space or whatever. So I think I got that resolved, so we're going to go from here. All right, so basically you got to remember, this is no bones other than the drumstick and the thighs. We got breast, tenderloins, drumsticks, thighs. I didn't take the wings. That would have been obviously more weight. And if there was bone in and all that, you get it. There's more weight with that, and the backs and so on. If I'd have weighed the whole chicken, so you know, the whole chicken like that would probably be about 7 pounds, 8 pounds. It's a nice sized bird. Like I said, I went a little long on these. You know, you get them around 6, 7 pounds when you go right at 8 weeks feeding them. So, all right, with that being said, I'm going to start again filming these. Don't mind the mess on the counter. I know I got to clean it up. So I'll get it all cleaned up and get this stuff put away, but I want to get it recorded real quick so you can understand what you're looking at weight. All right, so we got our scale here. First thing I'm going to do is we're going to do a complete chicken. All right, by complete chicken, I mean, like I said, the 2 drumsticks, 2 thighs, 2 breasts, 2 tenderloins. No wings, no back. All right, right there we're looking at 4 1/4 pounds. 4 1/4 pounds, all right? So we could say about 4 1/4 to 4.5 pounds. We'll do a second one. Same thing, make sure that's the same thing. I got them mixed up now since I was having problems. Actually, I think that's drums. So, okay. Now that's a whole bird too. All right, so this one is 4.5 pounds. So we had 4 1/4, 4.5. And this in fact is a whole one as well. And that is about 3.5 pounds. Actually, I think that's short. I can't remember now. I got them mixed up, but I'd say 4.5 pounds is what we're looking at for that. All right, so these are 2 breasts, just the breast, no tenderloins, just the breast, and I'm gonna weigh them out, and you can do the math. All this is times 17, so 2 breasts. We're looking at 1.5 pounds for 2 breasts. All right, we'll do a second 2 breast one and see where we're at with that. Almost 2 pounds with this one. So, of course, being a hen or a rooster is going to determine the weight difference. Okay, I didn't select these. I just packaged them up so that way you just know that, hey, this is just random numbers. Okay, so now this is 4 breasts, I mean 2 breasts or 2 chickens worth of breasts. And we're looking at 3.5 pounds on that for 4 breasts. And let me see what else I got. I put away a lot of it, so just because it's sitting out. We got 6 drumsticks. Looking at almost, we got 2 3/4 pounds for 6 drumsticks. And here's another 6 drumsticks. Looking at the same thing, 3 1/4. So you're looking at, for 6 drumsticks, 3. I say 1/4, 3 3/4. You got 2 3/4. 2 3/4 pounds. And that's about it. I got 3 tenderloins here. And of course you got to add the bag too, which isn't that much, but you got 1/2 pound for just 3 tenderloins. Okay, I wrap them in different things because if my wife's out of town, whatever, I eat, I'll cook me up like some tenderloins or something like that for me, or when she's here, or if we have company over. I try to do it the best I can for different occasions that we might be cooking up the birds. But that's it, and hope you enjoy and like, subscribe. I know it ain't the best videos. I'm working on it. I ran into a lot of technical difficulties doing this, but I'm hashing them out, and hopefully I can get my other camera working and get that other video that I have to upload. I probably just won't even upload it because it's another one. I gotta be careful with the content. I think I did good on the other video. I'll see if it gets kicked back. I think it uploaded. I finished that up this morning before I started finishing up packaging all this. And but like I said, there's, you've heard me say 1,000 ways, 1,000 ways, 1,000. Everybody's got different ways. This way is a nice clean method. It avoids having to dig your hands in the guts and the entrails and things like that. So a lot of things that people they just can't handle it, and you understand it. Some people just don't like it. Some people they cannot do it. They'll put their hand in there and then you'll be throwing up everywhere. And I'm sure you know them people. So everybody's different. No harm, no foul. But everybody can take part in the process. I do all this myself. Of course, my wife cooks it, so that's her role in the process, and she does a great job. We got some really good recipes, so we might put some of that on there later. But anyway, you can see this is a good probably 4 or 5 months worth of meat. So what I'll probably do is, if not more, depending on how many people I have over and cookouts and chicken fries and things like that, how quick it goes. I still got some leftover wings and things from the last batch, but I'll probably put some on order probably the end of November, I'll say, and then that'll take me through to February. And it's nice cool months. We're down here in Florida, so that's things you need to consider when you're going to raise these birds. The timing, these is pretty much end of July running into August, and all the way August, September, which was pretty hot down here. And these jumbo Cornish X's, I have them good shade area. I got nice oak trees, so they did well, kept the water fresh and cool. But they obviously do better in the cold, especially these bigger ones. It's less stress on them. So that's why I like to kind of run them in the cold. I might try a different type of broiler this time. If you got any recommendations, I'll hear it and call up the hatchery and see if I can't get something going with that and try a different breed. I just like these because you can grow them fast and you can get a lot of meat, and that's what they're designed to do. They're ugly birds. Makes it a little bit easier when you go to put them down. You don't get attached to them as much or whatever. So So there are all kinds of things to consider, but you can see, at the end of the day, it's just like the meat you get out of the store, but it's yours. You know the animal is raised good, you know it's raised right, you know the meat's good, you know what's in it. And then it just gives you another skill set that you can apply to other species and animals, you know, quail, dove, duck, if you're a hunter, things like that. I mean, a lot of these things are the same processes, you know, the joints and the bones work all kind of the same, the meat and where the meat's at and located and how it's designed. It's a lot of similarities across the board, but hope you like, subscribe, and enjoyed these videos, and I'll try to get you some more content. Got hunting season coming up. Be looking for them videos. Hopefully I get a nice hog. If I do, I'm going to try my best to get you some good footage of it, and then get you some good footage of how to dress out a wild boar or a wild hog. Hopefully I get a sow. I don't really care for the boars too much. They're kind of like, they'll eat, but you know, the sows are the best in my opinion when it comes to that. So hopefully get some more subscribers, and you like these videos and you like doing stuff like this, and we can keep you going. So take care. God bless.